For some analysis, we can speak to Borzou Daragahi, a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council's Middle East programs. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. It's said whoever wins Istanbul wins Turkey, but the opposition won Istanbul back in 2019, and then they still lost the national elections last year. So why are we looking at these elections as an indicator for the next election in 2028?
Well, I mean, it's really a test of Imamoglu and his ascent, whether the ascent will continue and whether it won't. But also just symbolically, not only is Istanbul Turkey's largest city, it's Europe's largest city. And it is, it is a massive entity, at least 16.9 million people. We're talking about contracts. We're talking about public works projects, and whoever controls that network of power is able to build their own patronage network. Is how Erdogan built his power and how Imamoglu has hoped to build his as well.
And Ekrem İmamoğlu, Istanbul's mayor, won in 2019 under a united opposition, but the opposition is not united this time. Can you explain how and why the political landscape has changed since then?
Well, it's a little complicated, but basically the failure of that coalition to win the presidency last year, and that whole process left a lot of bad blood between the sort of liberals, the democratic liberals, the CHP, the Kurds, and the nationalists that were aligned for that election, and now they're not aligned at all. Imamoglu is still very popular in Istanbul. I'm a resident of the city, and he's quite well liked, and he has run a pretty sharp campaign given the constraints against him in the media. So I think he has a good chance. But on the other hand, it is a fragmented political environment this time, and things are a lot more unpredictable.
And what have the main themes of the campaigning been, and are those the same issues that Turkish voters are concerned about?
I mean, it hasn't been that, there haven't been any debates. It hasn't been really that substantive. It's basically a popularity contest and a get out the vote contest. People put up signs that, and people do, like Imamoglu, who's been running a stream of free cultural events for people. It's good politics and good for the election. I'm not sure if that's the priority of the city right now. There's been a lot of ribbon cutting and infrastructure and so on. So you haven't had a debate about, like, for example, what to do about, like a serious debate about what to do about the increasing population of destitute refugees that are showing up in big cities like Istanbul. It's done on a policy level, not in a public political level.
And in addition to Istanbul, which we've been talking about, what other races should we be keeping an eye on today?
I mean, Ankara, the big ones. Ankara, Gaziantep is a big city. Izmir is for the opposition, definitely. There's, the cities of the southeast and so on, and there's the cities along those. It's all really important. Municipal government in Turkey is quite important and significant in terms of building networks of loyalty and jobs and so on. So it's a big deal. I don't think it's international politics worthy, except for that question of, is Imamoglu going to be Erdogan's challenger?
And Erdogan has said that this will be his last election. He's in his third term and under the current constitution can't run in 2028. Do you expect he's going to try to extend his rule, or could this election maybe help him find a successor?
Well, I mean, I don't know the mind of Recep Tayyip Erdogan, but he never smiles except when he's running for an office or is running an election. He loves politics. He loves electioneering. He seemed so happy when the presidential election went for a second round. It was like a new challenge for him. So I think that it would be really hard for him to give up that habit.
All right, Borzou Daragahi, thank you so much for your insight. We'll be watching those results closely. Again, that was Borzou Daragahi, a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council's Middle East programs.